Jinx Viego for me. I think those are really two big comp-defining picks. That should be a little bit higher up. Xayah as well for Peyz. I don't love the Xayah. I think you get outranged by a lot. I think Jinx is probably the safest
huge.
blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with this.
I mean, that's like one of the best right now that's still available on the table. Especially with the Caitlyn banned away. You cannot be pressured that often by anything that's really left.
MF is something where
that is.
You can push the Jinx around early, but we've seen a lot of MF comps run out of damage later on.
Yep.
So
you're relying on that accuracy of a big wombo combo that takes a lot of time. These movements, these fights are going to be moving fast.
Takes a lot of power out of Peyz's hands later on too, and once you get north of 2 items as Jinx, you get past that, you're going to be the more useful champion as this game goes on. Big question for JDG, what do they want to pair the MF with? Usually you have some sort of engage, something that can get you in. I'm expecting a Lulu to come out from Kael. So
the Ollie special.
Wow.
The Ollie
blind
special.
cannon.
Let's go.
Okay.
Huge pick for him. Really
There's the Lulu.
lethal in finding some flanks. There's going to be the Galio also. That was banned away earlier in the series. Right now, this team fight composition is looking damn good from AL.
I think you got to look for maybe a Blitzcrank here. But even if you go Blitz, the chance you can hook Galio in. I just need a Blitz in the... Like, you have to break this combo. You have to find some sort of engage, some sort of look. I think if you don't go for something like Blitzcrank here, then you're behind. They could try and flex the... They got to drop support? Really?
Maybe he's cooking. The way locked in for JDG, defining their carry setup for this final game.
Ban Blitz, for sure. I mean, do you even need to like worry about support bans after this? Like, I don't see the real need to, frankly.
Is there anything you just don't want to deal with?
It could be Hui's support, but you aren't like. I don't think that you're setting up for that.
I like the Zac ban by JDG.
I mean, what are you gonna pair with the MF? You could go for like. You're so squishy now too. You could just focus on banning a couple of tankier junglers.
True.
Like, I think Ivern. It's not a Shun pick, but it might just be worth getting rid of. The Blitzcrank for sure. Yeah, there's the Blitz.
Just try to take away some of those options.
I hate this draft from JDG, man. Like, what are we what are we trying to do here? Like, for real. We have absolutely no way to deal with any sort of tanks moving forward. The fact we're showing Cannon plus MF.
But hasn't that been the story of the game so far? Like, it feels like AL have everything put together. They're the prim, proper, beautiful vision of what you should have with drafts. JDG is scrappy. They got weird picks. What the hell is going on? And then they win games. So it's just about trying to figure out how they're going to try to execute this one. And we are now looking at our final ban in a game number 5. 50 champions not available in League of Legends. And we'll see what that final
get rid of the tankiest jungler, man. Like, just get rid of some jungle champ. Like, you feel like it's tanky that Jinx Lulu just can't break early. Okay, Pantheon. Pantheon can play fast, too. I think that's warranted. Yeah. What does Shun go for here? Does he just default to something like a Volibear?
Look at he doesn't even know what he's going.
But your triple magic damage
was banned away.
Oh, yeah, it was, but I think it's banned away from Tarzan. Yeah. And if you do it, it's triple magic damage topside. The only choice you have is Viego. And if you go Viego here, like, yes, you have a lot of upfront damage, but watch Tarzan go for the Volibear himself. He's just going to munch you.
Yep, that's going to be the decision, no doubt. I mean, Volibear making it all the way through. Can't do that. Can't do that either. Try to look through some of the picks, but that will absolutely be a Volibear lock-in. So now we have a little bit more onus on these jungle matchups of all things. The Viego, the reset potential there is with this pick can absolutely change games, but the team comp from AL is just going to be so hard to crack.
Like, you have a choice here. You can play something like Mundo top. I don't think that Mundo can ever die this game. Yeah. Or you just put the Galio top. And yeah, you just power pick Aurora. Okay. I hate this draft for JDG. I really don't see how JDG wins this game. They have to take like some sort of tanky meatball here. I feel like this is like the only choice they have to maybe set up a Cannon, set up a Hui, set up an MF. But this comp is just so squishy from JDG. I don't know how they can actually live to get the resets later on.
They're still questioning what they exactly want to go for here. trying to find some setup potential for them. They need it because they're going to rely on a lot of damage, and they aren't going to find any tankiness on their composition as Bard is the final lock-in in a Game 5 for missing. So here are the comps. AL, every game, they've seemed like they just have the easier comp. They seem like they have the more put-together vision, and it seems like another game they will have that here, Cubby.
Yeah, I mean, good luck. If you're JDG, then you have to get resets on Viego, getting through a Lulu, a Galio, and a Volibear. And you have MF, so later on, you're going to do absolutely 0 damage to these champions. I do not like the drafter setup from JDG. I think they really, really dropped the ball here with whatever game plan they were going for.
See if maybe a little bit of that cheering, maybe a little bit of that Silver Scrapes is enough to get them over the line. The fact that they've even pushed it all the way to Game 5 after some of the trials they've been through so far and some of the lackluster performances, it shows to the strength that this team can represent. And a team that we were wondering for Anyone's Legend, what kind of strength would they have in this split? And damn, do they look good. Their preparation, their execution, the fact that it's being bolstered by Flandre and by Tarzan, but the real carries, it's been Hope and Shanks all along. So many building blocks leading up to those moments, but JDG, a titan in the scene, is looking to bar Anyone's Legend and knock them down to that lower bracket, knock them away from a first berth at a grand finals in the LPL. It's been a long time coming. It's not only second best of 5 going the distance in our playoff, but damn, it's been a good one. And let's hear those Gios roar and Sion one more time. Going nuts for a Game 5. Got all the worth out of your ticket. And now here we are, back into it. Press the attack for Tarzan on the Volibear. Jungle is going to have a lot to say in this matchup.
This is just a waiting game for Anyone's Legend. Get the Jinx and the Lulu, the 2+ items on anywhere close to even footing, and you're in good shape. I think that the one thing that can be nice for JDG is their level 6 fight is really strong. They need Viego to get resets and get them early on in the fights. My concern is that Anyone's Legend is just way too tanky to get Viego any resets in this game. And that's what AL is going to have to deal with and play against in this one.
Okay, we'll see if some of these early trades are going to lead to anything. Shanks taking a decent chunk of damage as the first wave does connect in the mid lane. Nothing else, at least on the Rift, and now too important except for where the junglers are starting. It will be a Raptor start for Tarzan to maybe go play towards bot lane a little bit more, but it should be a full clear towards top at least for Shun.
Tarzan is just going to take his bot 3 camps and go from there. I do like this on the bear, as your ability to set up for respawn camps later on can be very big. The bear, first couple clears, you are so strong as this champion in pretty much any game. And I really like it as a bridge to try and get that Jinx Lulu to the later stages as well. Tarzan will have a lot of good clear speed, a lot of brute strength from the map early on, and then Jinx Lulu can bring it home with pretty much whatever jungler you have, just with how hard they can carry games late. So I think that the AL comp, like even in Fearless, they still found some pieces that make sense together, as we will have Tarzan walk into the bot side jungle of JDG and get the bad news that it was a bot start for Viego. And meanwhile, Shun's going to look for invade on his own, actually going to look for the top lane. Might look to get feisty here early on.
Yeah, I mean, taking that quick path up here, that level 3 gank, potentially Flandre not ready for it. Not going to find the angle he wanted, so he's going to pull back off and go re-clear his jungle. But I think it gives us a little bit of time. I mean, the fact that Hope is so set up to be the massive star in this game, I mean, he is the guy you have to look to for Anyone's Legend, him in the combination of Shanks, but now they're in tandem. Shanks playing a bit of a defensive nature champion to enable this guy Hope, who knows JDG well just years ago, you know, being on that team, not having the success maybe he ever wanted to. The memories of that being, I wanted to be a leader, I wanted to find and be a carry, and now all these years later, potentially knocking JDG down into that lower bracket would be a hell of a story.
Flandre did a nice job with this early lane up top on the Aurora. Of course, someone that has always been quick to adapt to new champions. One of the first people that we had playing the Anvesa in the Demacia Cup, along with the tank chase. A goal that he definitely was responsible for helping Pioneer. I don't know if I want to thank him or curse him for that one.
You thank the man.
I mean, it's been a terror in my solo queue games, but I have really liked playing tank chase into a Kael. It makes that pick feel terrible. It's a lot of fun.
Jace is a heck of a build, but it's cool to see little things like that, even though they have to be put down very quickly. We do have a little bit of lane swaps going on. Peyz going towards top side now. We did have a little bit of the spawn of Dragon potentially coming up in 40 seconds, but both teams have not put a lot of focus on. Oh, no. Shanks going down. Flash. And this time it's Scout that makes sure that auto connects. And that's first blood for JDG.
That fear, it wasn't buffered by the Justice Punch. It caught before the buffer could go through, or I should say after. It was after the channel. Ends up stopping Shanks in his tracks, and Scout picks up a big solo kill.
That's crazy energy to start the last game of best of 5, but they have to take a look back at that one.
Yeah, again, Fear just catches him out, gets the taunt to try and buy some time, get away, but Scout, the flash auto, all that he needs to wrap that one up. And yeah, those JD Gaming fans, they're pretty happy.
How crazy is that it's like literally the inverse of the last game where AL, maybe that first kill makes the biggest difference in that game 4 where AL put JDG to bed. But the auto attack this time being in favor of Scout. No auto attack in the turret. Comes back to bite AL again.
Keep in mind, like, this game, it's decently close early. This is a win for anyone's Legend. The closer they can get to 2+ items, the better for their comp. Because Jinx is just going to completely overtake MF and damage being dealt later on. And the tankier that they get, the harder it is for Viego to find resets, or the less impactful some of these cannon ults will be. So time, for sure, the friend of anyone's Legend. So again, even more important for JDG that Scout is able to get something going like that early on, because they're going to need early help in this game if they want to be able to take home this Game 5 and book their tickets to the finals without having to go to the lower bracket.
Grub started up by anyone's Legend as the time has come, already being taken down as well with no contest coming through from JDG. Not willing to try to fight and give away any early advantages with the full map movement of AL. So all 3 early grubs will go to Tarzan, and that's massive. We'll see 2 plates go the way of Allah bot lane, though.
Allah had CP, Flandre didn't, so if they wanted to contest the grubs, he did have to sack this bot wave, and that will be the call. Again, I think that this is relatively worth it for anyone's Legend. Like, one way you can lose this game is if you give away 6 grubs and get starved out by JDG. They do have some decent lanes that are self-sufficient early on. Looking at stuff like the MF, like the Kennen. I think that grouping for the first 3 and taking away some of that power from JDG I think it's fine. I think it's well worth the trade. So, Flandre loses out a little bit, but I think that he'll take that small loss so that the empowered grubs aren't peppering down the turrets of anyone's Legends here for the next 7 minutes while plates are up.
Yeah, at least trying to stop any kind of extra sieging potential that can be had there. Tarzan gets spotted out in mid lane. The Sky Splitter get his own damn quick, but Scout wins that trade. Use that unending despair on Tarzan, who's about half his health. Oh! Be able to hit that last little bit of damage. I will say, JDG using Peyz's movement speed pretty well here and darting him around the map in multiple different positions so far.
Yeah, they're going to steal the red buff, or at least they're set up to do so. I think Peyz is already on it. So the ult from Scout ends up leading to some priority camps being taken. It's not a complete loss.
Oh, they don't get it.
Oh, they were setting up for it. I guess seeing Tarzan on the rafts was enough. It's a bit of a bummer here for anyone's Legend.
A little bit of a toughie, but like you said, it's fine. They're right in place. They're just going on farther down the road towards the objective for them, which is those multiple item breakpoints. JDG, the ones that need to be a bit proactive here. Scout already showing a little bit of that proactivity so far in this one with that first blood over Shanks. See now though, level 6s available, team fights on the horizon in a couple minutes when that next grub spawns. Who do you like in these early kind of skirmishes in terms of what's available to them?
JDG needs to find plays early, and if they're able to bring the cannon in, use that slicing maelstrom to help ensure Viego gets an early reset, that's the game plan. A kill for Viego, and he can run the fight. It's just time's the friend of anyone's legend. I don't think they should be taking some of these early fights. You can drop stuff, and that JDG gets small wins. As long as you bend and don't break, time is your friend. The Jinx Lulu will be what runs the later stages of this game. So as long as anyone's legend, as long as they aren't, losing the game entirely, they can sack these early objectives. Again, the first 3 grubs being taken. Trade the next 3 and try and set up a dragon, or hell, you can trade that out and both the dragon and just get some farm, and I think be fine this game.
Now JDG looking for an active play on top side. Gonna get TP'd on as a defensive strategy from AL. Let's see. Gonna be able to hit that stun. Mega Death Rocket came across, just in case JDG wanted to stick around. But now Flandre is up top side. Flandre is going to walk into the bush here. Take a decent chunk of damage, going for the Between Worlds. Going under turret, slicing Maelstrom. He's not tanky enough yet. That turret's doing work, but now Shun is trying to get his way out. He's got Polymorph. This is scattered to the wind, JDG, and they just need to find a way to put it back together. And there you go, with a thunderous cacophony of terror, AL will take down Ala.
And they get the TP from Scout, who was pushing bot solo. That is an ult on the Tarzan.
Nice flash from Tarzan. They look to fight back, not going to find anything else, and they do make it out alive. So there's a return kill on the map for AL.
The big thing was they got Scout out of bot lane. He had some free time down there, so was getting some work done. Nice stall by Scout, though, to try and ruin some of the tempo of anyone's legend in Flandre. That is a small win, but they'll take that one.
I mean, that's a decent amount of damage that you could put out from so distant. And, I mean, if you're going to pick a pick like this for Scout, this is a guy that we've wanted to have step up in so many regards, so many times. Like, you have to show the reason why this is your Game 5 pick. This is your win condition in a lot of ways for JDG. Speaking of win conditions for JDG, one of them is getting taken out right now. It's just sniped from afar by Hope.
Well, I mean, if your Viego's going to die before second grubs, I think this game, man. Like, JDG is, for real, just going to slowly burn out in this game. This is a comp where you need to find plays, make plays, get anything going early, because if you are not in a lead, you are at a deficit. And JDG just weren't able, again, in order to do that, like, you need to sync up with jungle support and make this game crazy. Missing has done nothing to make this game crazy. Shun just ran it down to make this game crazy. That's not exactly what you're looking for here if you are JDG. So anyone's legend, again, they just get to keep on sitting on their laurels. They have 6 grubs now. You can rest, farm up, and AFK and win this game. And you also have the option to really speed up the pace of this game and start taking down those side lane turrets, which are very vulnerable to the grub stack. And that looks to be the play that anyone's legend is going for right now, with everyone cruising toward this bot lane. We'll see how many plates they can get on Hope and Kael.
It's just such a cool story. I mean, you can't write it better than anyone's legend. Finally, after all these years, even after all that time as Rogue Warriors, and not finding success, even being the bottom of the barrel, unwinning team in a 17-team league, to all these years later, the rebrand later, and anyone's legend with their pieces they've been building up on the verge and in a little bit of a good position in this game 5. But JDG,
they have the bear logo, and they picked the Boulder Bear. We didn't talk about
this.
this.
It's just fate, I guess, yeah.
I feel like this is the most
One's a
important
panda, one's a polar bear, but we'll take it. They're both bears. And speaking of, that bear is chomping on Missing. Missing having no success and really taking that magical journey. We'll just be taken out with that flash. And now they're trying to push more on this bot lane. They have a Jinx who's ready to fire away and take more of these plates.
That's 6 grubs, so and that could easily melt and be another plate for the Jinx with the grubs burning away. Has the ability to even walk up, just empowered Q to farm that plate. Will go into the hands of Hope. And again, even gold game, 13 minutes in. You can ask for anything better for anyone's legend. You have been popped by Hui outside of the solo kill onto the Galio. Ala hasn't been able to get anything done on Kennen. You have no resets going over to the Viego or Shun, and Tarzan just to keep on throwing his weight around, making plays as they've sieged down to the bot lane.
There you go, Stormbringer to boot. They got everybody coming in. Nice Tempered Fate there, but it's already going to be one down. AL looking to bring it home now, too. Kael gets his kill. Hope gets his kill, and it's Hope putting the nail in the coffin one by one into JDG.
I mean, was it a nice Tempered Fate? I feel like missing just disabled an already disabled turret that was helping himself out, wasn't able to lock his teammate in there and maybe buy some time to help the turret not be disabled. And it just feels like JDG is bleeding out. Again, and Fearless, we've seen some drafts just end up being really one-sided. I think this is a very one-sided draft. It's a low-damage team from JDG, and you have to get through a Volibear Galio empowered by a Lulu. And they're the ones that actually have push and priority on the map, as Tarzan's been the one making plays. That ult was trying to trap Shanks, didn't end up doing so, and missing Peyz for it with his life. Loses his top laner in the process, too. And everyone looks pretty happy and pretty chill over there.
Tabe's chill. Tabe's chill. Tabe
he
doesn't
knows,
have any emotions. He's just chilling. He's just hanging out. Everybody else getting hyped. But Tabe knows at any moment AL could flip. We'll see, though. Now, first items are there. We're already getting to a point where, like you said, repeating that draft statement of if AL are in this kind of position, they are perfectly fine. We'll be looking at second items sooner rather than later for Hope as well. So what is the hope for JDG? They no longer have him. He's been gone for years. Now JDG needs to rely on who they have here and now, Cubby.
They need anyone's legend to make an old-school Rogue Warriors macro decision.
Oh, no.
This game. We need the 17th place LPL team to come back in spirit and take over the mouse and keyboards of the team that's currently on the Rift right now for Blue side. JDG wants to come back in this one. I mean, it's Viego resets. They can still find a big Wombo, but again, time is running out. It gets harder and harder to find the one-shots as this game goes on.
It is so difficult in these situations to find that kind of positive spin on things when just the way that the meta works right now, the compositions can be so strong. I literally have said it every game. Like, draft in this series with how close the matchups are matters so damn much. And that's the winner of this series if AL go and win. The draft have been impeccable from them. Some slip-ups here or there, but still, the strategy is implemented. And we see them still in the advantage here. Just about 1,000 gold up. Herald on the table now for both sides. And JDG just looking for something to work on the map.
And the worst part,
reset, anything like that
for JDG here is, like, you think about the Peyz has been the savior of this team. When things have gone sideways or haywire, Peyz has been the one to step up and actually pay things off. He's not even on the hyper carry. He's on that map, so time's not his friend either.
Oh,
we have a rotation coming over. They're looking for Flandre, but Peyz the
they
one who's found.
just start going, yeah, Peyz. That's a nice Temper Fate that time, saving Peyz, but Peyz still gets hit very hard. They got a bullet time over across, but Peyz worried. Peyz getting flashed on. Flandre takes him down the Aurora top, and now Shun is gone. JDG, sweet Betty Bye. They might as well go to sleep and get ready for that lower bracket run because this one is done.
Just not sure what the idea was in draft here for JDG. I think showing, again, MF Cannon so early, you're just asking to have tanks played into you. The Viego not helping out with that
Tarzan versus
whatsoever.
Scout.
Yeah, Tarzan just munching his old teammate here from LNG. And, yeah, he's just waiting for the burn. He knows that there's nothing else he needs to do. This game gonna look pretty ugly pretty fast here, Mazel.
Little bit of a niche throwback to that series. Scouts just saying, man, why couldn't you do that in my game 5 with us? Get them to the finals that time around, being lackluster and falling short just to that grand finals with that LNG team. Now, Tarzan catches Peyz in between, but this puts Peyz in such a weird position.
I mean, yeah, but why are we taking the magical journey in front of the Volibear's face in the first place? Like, that's not great. And then Tarzan, he did a great job of stalling out here. Does get another W wall. A lot of healing between that and the Sunder Sky, so Tarzan was able to live. And if no resets going over to JDG, they've got no help and no hope in this one. Okay, Tarzan
on the other team. Unending Despair. This is the combo. This is the reset.
Okay.
Shun maybe looking for it. This is the way in. Hope's going to flash out of Tempered Fate. JDG, all of a sudden, you just feel this mustering of energy. There's a wind in the air, and they find a little bit of promise here. And missing Peyz going to defend between worlds coming through. Maybe that promise has been snuffed out, but not going to be able to get the hit. Flandre not hitting anything. That slicing Mazel, so they've been saving it. They got another Heartbreaker, and don't call it a comeback now. Shun looking to make up for all his misgivings. It's going ham on anyone's legend. Peyz is cleaning them up too with a double kill, and all of a sudden AL are on the back foot.
Why are we fighting this, man? Like, you lost your jungler. Just back off. Take it. Lose the dragon. You don't need... It's Ocean's sole point. Like, who cares? Just don't give them gold. Don't give them resets. Instead, anyone's legends, they just kind of funnel in one by one and give JDG some hope in this game.
Speaking of hope, he taketh, he giveth. We're going to take a look at how that all started here. They're playing very confidently with these, but they're in a weird choke point.
All right, Tarzan, no flash, no ult, gets caught by Scout's way. He ends up getting one shot. This should just be the end of the fight. Go play for mid. Go play out. You lost Hope's flash too. It's a 5v4. Scaling's on your side. It's okay. Instead, they try and get fancy with it. Flandre finds an ult onto Scout, goes for the combo, misses it. If that hits, maybe it one-shots the way, but instead, Shanks gets stuck with a slow from MF. Was able to collapse. They get a second kill, and they get a third as Shun gets a reset and gets to keep on pushing forward. So now you have no sums on Jinx, a much more volatile game state where JDG has more gold. Again, the only solution for them is to find resets on the Viego. Gifted one there, and gifted some more by the rest of anyone's legends. Actually gives JDG a little bit of hope in this game.
And I'm really liking the way that Peyz is playing extremely reserved with this MF play. He's waiting for the good bullet times. I know the last time he got hit by Flandre, but a 2-item spike on this Misfortune is massive. And that bullet time is such a key to success for JDG to get those resets for Shun.
I was also happy to see the enemy marksman not magical journey into the face of Volbear in that last fight. So I think that's a very astute point.
I think that's
really increased JDG's chances of winning that fight, for sure.
Mega. Oh, a little bit. The Herald will go the way of anyone's legend, or at least JDG. Too much of anyone's legend chagrin. But that is a comeback in the game, for sure. I mean, we are almost dead even now, but the thing is, JDG have been building up at least some statistical probabilities for themselves. They've gotten 3 dragons already. They have the Rift Herald now available to them as a distractionary measure for that next dragon fight in about 3 minutes. I
don't think Ocean Soul really matters or has an impact on this game. So I do think the JDG rolled a bad soul. Like, in theory, they can at least make sure they're topped off with any fight they take with the Viego, but there's not a lot of poke that's going to come in from anyone's legend. Like, that's probably the worst Drake could have rolled this game is JDG. So, bit of a bummer for them, not rolling a better soul. Infernal have been really nice with all the damage they have. But, of course, not the draw they got this game. As JDG
2 items now for Hope, too.
Yeah, at least get some work done around the Otacon, as Missing is going to get some work done on his faces from the bear.
And they
that's
tell
half
you
his health
don't
gone.
Feed the bears at the zoo. I think that's the reason why. Don't want to be mauled. Tarzan trying to fight over the jungle vision, at least on this top side. And it's going to be pressed out. And I love the fact that JDG are trying to push where they can find in.
They have to keep on pushing now. Again, time is just not their friend. As Shanks will not be able to find Viego there. And frankly, the control of this jungle, at least Tarzan's able to answer most of it for anyone's legend. So it's not like they're losing anything of significance. And again, if time goes on and everything's even, time is still the friend of anyone's legend. So I like the fact how being a little bit more reserved after that dragon fight. I feel like they lost their minds a little bit trying to recontest that one down a man.
Let's see if they can regain their mind structure a little bit more. But we are getting to those item spikes now for everybody as well. And we're going to have that Atacon up on top side of the map. And it's so funny. Like, there's not a lot of kills on JDG. Nobody that you could just be like, oh, that's the carry. But honestly, at this point, if anybody's going to carry, I have faith in Peyz. And I think when you look at the track record of this guy coming over from Gen G, his first split in the LPL, filling the shoes of none other than Ruler, where they did a little swap of rune skis going into this year. I mean, he's performed so well in an environment that's not native to him, and that's so impressive to me.
Again, he has been the rock-solid carry at JDG later on. MF, a very difficult champ to do so in these games. When it goes late, you aren't going to do the same damage that other AD carries can do, especially in the tanks.
Oh no, I caster cursed him. Come on, save him, save him.
So at least the cleanse gone.
Flip the uprights. That's big though. A cleanse on MF is massive.
JDG at least doing a nice job of pushing some of these side lanes in. Of course, this is Ocean's Soul point. Anyone's Legends do not exactly want to give this one over for free, but because of the control that we have from JDG and the sides, they got bot in, they got mid in, and now
that's Hope Flash. They had vision on Allah, and he gets half his health tanked from him. The dragon is spawning right now. JDG in primary position of that. TP from Allah is available. He might look to come join the fight, though JDG being pushed out of their mid lane. Cryo as Allah and the rest of AL are moving over, at least trying to. And now you got the TP coming in. Missing's already out of the fight. Allah has finally joined. And now we have the fight really kicking off with Missing about a half health. JDG going to start up the dragon here, Cubby. Look at this positioning. Oh, the flash play. Okay, he tried to get the combo. Not going to find it.
Scout also had to flash. There's a trade up for AL later on.
Oh, okay, Tarzan flashing. Scout gone. Reset's going. Can Hope get it? Hope is just firing. Free firing like a free bird. And they are just trouncing JDG. The one to do it to him is the one they know the most. And Hope is gunning them down.
Again, as this game goes forward, you just cannot kill or get resets on the front line of anyone's Legend. And even with the extended timers to try and land poke from JDG to try and make sure that the health bars were not on even footing, it's not even close to the end, as Hope's still able to rip through the rest of the team. And now Peyz gonna look for a hero play here.
So much damage. Peyz getting caught out now, though, as here comes Shanks, the utility pick of the Big Galio, making the difference as Barrett is going down to anyone's Legend. They take firm control back from this game off the back of a 6-0-4 performance from Hope.
Has the big front line, has the Lulu, and Hope cashing in all this. Again, the health bars are in favor of JDG before this. It was decent poke that came in, but because Peyz has no cleanse, Tarzan just gets to jump onto him and Scout. Scout also burned flash, was traded out from Shanks, so a brilliant engage from Tarzan. It got Scout out of the fight immediately. It forced Peyz back, and that was all the space they needed to make sure that Hope ran the fight.
I see that yell, Tabe. I see you. The guy that never makes any emotion known. He finally does, at least behind the scenes. When he goes running out on the stage, he's definitely ecstatic. But now, 3 items for Hope. That rapid fire completed. Baron up for another 2 minutes on that buff. They can move around the map, take control of it, and potentially look to push onto this Atacon. I think the Atacon is the death knell for JDG.
I think this game has already been death for JDG. They need, again, a lot of miracles to happen and go their way. And I really feel like in just the positioning of the drafts that we had, like, I favored anyone's Legends draft like 85, 90% spawning into the game. Like that's never a good sign. I know it's fearless and things get weird. I just didn't see a way for JDG to get their win con to work into what anyone's Legends had. And they are the team that gets to respond on red side. So that is not a good setup that came out from JDG. I just don't think that they put their players in a good position to win this game. And now we're seeing anyone's Legend, they don't have to do anything fancy. Just have to make sure that Hope lives. Once his flash comes back up, that's going to be even harder for JDG to find a winning fight. I know flashes are pretty synced up at this point, but if Hope has summoners up, he's got the redemption and the Kaels from Lulu. What can JDG do against him? It's got to be a crazy combo coming out from Alda and Scout to even just give Shun a chance to reset onto Hope, and they have to take Hope down in the fights. That's truly the only chance they have to win an extended team fight.
There they go. They got the Stormbringer bringing the heat to JDG. And Shun has to use his Heartbreaker out of there. AL just going to start up the Atacon. And here we are with AL having JDG pushed up against the wall. JDG going to try to get some mid lane advantage. They do have a lot of damage on these turrets. They might even get an inhib off of this one. But at least going to get the tier 2 tower in the mid lane.
Atacon secured, and again, like, we're in a game state where it just doesn't feel like JDG have ways to win the game. They played for the mid inner turret, like, that's the right call, but you cannot contest what AL has. Look at how easy it's been for Tarzan on this Voldabear to just force his will upon this game. The Viego cannot hold a candle to him early on. Later on, we've seen him just RQing the flashless carries. Scout was the last one. We saw him pressure Peyz the fight before that alongside Scout. It's just him, too. It's not even like we aren't even talking about Shanks, right? Who's able to do the same. It's just there's absolutely no front line and no disrupt, like no ability to disrupt anything that AL wants to do in this game for JDG. It's a real bummer to have this game 5, what has been a pretty close back and forth series, just be this one-sided because of the draft that JDG had a response to what anyone's legend was showing. It was just not close to being good enough.
Drafts have been the biggest question here. We're going to take a look back into that one. We're going to ride the lightning, baby.
Again, no flash on Scout. I mean, Tarzan gets one sniff of him being out of position. It's him and Shanks, the dog pile from above, as it was the Stormbringer into the grand or heroic entrance. Is that it?
Yeah, you got it. Look at that.
Let's go.
You got it. I just got to give some more love to Hope. I mean, you got to think this guy is the one that had been replaced by 2 Korean transfers 2 times in a row. First on EDG for Viper, World Championship, right? Then you look at Ruler replacing him on JDG. They didn't make that World Championship run, but they looked damn good for many years.
They had a golden road.
Yeah, they did. They literally did. And to see Hope all these years later off his trials on WE to now finding a home on AL. I know I've said it time and time again, but this guy is constantly showing up in these playoffs, in these postseason, and that's what you want your veteran ADC to do.
Shun's not spotted. He's going to just guess on the R.
He gets it! He gets the Ocean Soul. Maybe a little bit of redemption for all those awful moments, but he does buy time for JDG.
That is a soul. I think it's the worst soul that you could have rolled, and I don't think it makes a difference in the game. But a nice hide and steal from Shun. That is the desperation that JDG needs and is looking for, frankly, if they want to come back in this one. So, nice from Shun. I still think it's too little too late, but hey, that does get Elder to spawn, and frankly, Elder might be one of the few things that could bring them back in this game if you are JDG.
This is tough, though, because Hope is just going to be feeding off of these turret takes. He's going to be excited. He's going to be running at you. Look at that. That was 1 rocket and 1 zap. And Scout's already almost half health. As he's going to be working on his 4th item now for Hope. On the other side of things, we did just get the back for Peyz. He's going to be almost on that 4th item spike. We're going to take a look back at this, this little look at the steal from Shun. They put it into the bush that he was going to.
They moved the control wards. They didn't see Shun on the approach, and a bit of a gas, a bit of a sync up with missing on the 3-man Tempered Fate. Again, it could be a little bit too little too late from JDG, but Ocean Soul is something. Getting the Elder to spawn, I think, is a big deal in this game.
It is.
And JDG...
Andre playing with fire right now. Is Hope just going to fire off that Mega Death Rocket?
They'll get that health back, you know? Ocean Soul perks, let's go.
True. Hey, they need to use the soul, okay? They didn't get it for no reason. As Baron is up, positioning around this is super important. You see how JDG don't want to give up any pressure into their own jungle here, as they'll take the group red buff and get some resets, but JDG, they're definitely reeling. Only a 5,000 gold lead, 32 minutes in. Some of the compositional strength they have, though, if, you know, a big reset comes off, if some of the lackluster fighting comes through from AL, you could see the turnaround, but AL definitely in the driver's seat.
See what JDG can do to contest this Baron. Shun is missing Flash, so we'd love to see all the commitment that we saw from Tarzan and AL punishing Scout, getting him to go to the gray screen twice when his Flash was missing. We'd love to see that a similar focus be paid to Shun. Because if you can prevent the Viego reset, that really is the only chance that you have to be in the game in these fights as JDG.
So much comes down to this. Like, the not looking at the lower bracket is a real deal here. You want to try to book that ticket to grand finals. AL know what they've got, something special with this group, especially Tabe. Talking so highly about his players and the way that they draft, and we've seen that draft unfold tonight for AL. The JDG, they are scrappy as hell. They aren't out of this one just yet, but close. And now we have those second, third, fourth items going to be completed for some carries across AL as well.
Even the game. Oh, hold on.
Nope. Okay. Well. Oh, he actually survives for a little bit longer, but finally goes down. Redemption, not enough, and it's Flandre of all people that takes him down.
Tarzan was chunked during that, but shouldn't be enough to like be able to do anything on the map with JDG.
That's real tough.
Peyz now with no sums. He's going to be the target of Tarzan, you gotta believe, in the next fight, and that Voldeberg can get you into the back line. As you're gonna see Tarzan, he's gonna wrap around and get chunked on the top side of the fight. But that doesn't matter, because I guess he was just keeping everyone busy while Peyz went down.
That is so unfortunate for JDG. They lose so much power in their composition. Baron actually started up by anyone's legend. They're forcing the hand right now. Allah was looking for a big flash slicing maelstrom.
Voldeberg can hit this forever. I mean, he just doesn't. Yeah, he just doesn't take damage from this. So they can get it down to 4K and then just tease JDG to try and step on in.
Push him off of it. Allah has a hell of a flank right now, but his team is getting collapsed on. Missing his caught. They've got to do something. The Mega Death Rocket went wide, and Hope will not get his resets right now, at least with the excited buff. Oh no, Allah. Did he get? He actually ended up making it out alive, at least. I thought maybe he was going to get ran down. The Scuttle Crab went with AL, and the Baron does not go down.
Again, a good stall here from JDG, and they're buying time for the Elder to maybe spawn. They could look to attack Kael, but the Lulu will be able to slink away in time. Not enough space on the map to start up a Baron, and too close to Elder to risk it, though, if you are JDG. So just going to come down to an Elder flip. And again, if you're JDG, with the Ocean Soul and the poke you have, if you're able to hold that formation forever, it's okay for you, but just the comp that you're going up against, the ease for Tarzan and Shanks to force onto Peyz, that's what they're looking for this upcoming fight.
I think they just used the full combo onto Shanks here. They did lose their bullet time, and all Shanks had to really do was pop his Zanyas there, so he should be fine. And they're going to move over to the Baron to threaten this one. Tarzan, yet again, can heal up so much.
They're just trying to pull JDG out of their vision by doing this, so... that, of course, if Tarzan gets access to camps, he can't heal, but they're going to drop this mid wave entirely to start this Baron.
They burn it so fast.
They do, but they can't burn it fast enough.
Tempered Fate, that's huge. JDG, they're moving around the corner here. Shun.
Yeah.
They need to. I don't know if they can, though, just yet. They're going to look to burn it down. Shun not even close to the pit. The Baron's going down. And now going forward is anyone's legend. They try to get the Mega Death Rocket onto multiple members of JDG.
Aurora ult being used is big. Jinx no R either. Tempered Fate, though, and Viego's ultimate also down. The Viego ult being down is massive for JDG. That means that June can't use that to secure a reset. They're going to try and zone anyone's legend off. And are they not walking in?
The vision is
tough here. You got to walk in at some point.
Tarzan moving forward. He's down a quarter of his health down.
They spotted it.
Dragon's already 5,000. Shun's going to try to deny him from the pit. All up. He's the distraction. And now they don't get the Elder Dragon. What is happening? JDG are falling apart. They get the Elder. They get the reset. Shun, in the moment of heroes needed, he is the one that puts the cape on. It is still just a trade, but the Elder Dragon keeps JDG alive.
Props to JDG. They're playing this out way better than what I think they should be. I was really surprised at how cautious anyone's legend was at entering the bot side river. Yes, you're going up against Kennen, Quay, MF, and importantly, they didn't spot Awa on the Kennen, so he got a really nice angle in terms of the flank, but they didn't get a ton of info down until it was too late. Flandre not having access to his ult hurts a lot in this fight, too, as the start of it can only be so big, and then Tarzan just trying to send it in there to see if he can steal it away. Did end up going down in the end. So JDG, they have the Elder. Going up against a Baron, though, I mean, how much can they actually get done on the map? They only have that buff a little bit longer than the Baron buff happens. Anyone's legend should be able to just keep the map neutral and continue to get to a state where they should be the stronger team early on. I will say if this one goes late, Kennen kind of regains the ability to one-shot the Jinx Lulu later on. If Kennen gets to 5 items, then he can one-shot like pretty much no matter what if he gets our flash off. And I think that's like the last hope for JDG.
It's still kicking here, still looking for something. Oh, they found something. They went fishing, Cubby. They might have came up with the best. Between Worlds coming in from Flandre. They have a lot of damage on the Shanks, but Shanks is tanking up a storm. Bullet time going to be used, and he is out of there. That was the wild growth, but multiple ultimates from JDG are down. Oh, Scout?
Yeah, Scout slinks away, but again, this is your Elder being up. They only have it for one more wave, 40 seconds on the timer, so this is nothing significant achieved from Elder, besides pretty much denying it from anyone's Legend and making it very easy for them to win the game. So still, again, in a tough spot here for JDG. We do not favor their comp going on.
Just got to find a way to scrap it out if they are going to find it. I mean, Peyz very close to being on that final item for themselves and trying to find a way to make that one work here. Unfortunately, I do believe I've lost my my feed, so unfortunately, we'll see what's exactly going down with that one. But hopefully we get back into the game quickly, shorter rather than later.
Not sure if it was a pause of the feed going down, which is why we're a little bit off-center from the camera.
Yeah.
We're going to wait for updates from production here. Thanks for sticking with us. If you are here, it is 6 a.m.
Okay, we're back, baby. Right back into it. We got a fight kicking off as well.
Boy.
That's the Tempered Fate going to go down onto Shanks as well. Missing going down already. AL, they found the resets. They've got hope, and they are moving it forward. Shouldn't getting a little bit lower as well, though. AL turn back around. That's a deep as hell TP as Allah coming to clear that wave
He's cutting the wave, yeah. So they have to play this one through mid. Peyz is at the wave first, though. As, of course, we are on a different feed. We got to have this one up for you guys in a late game 5 scenario. Not exactly sure how that fight started, but anyone's Legend, of course, the comp that it should be much stronger at this point of the game. And as long as Hope is autoing, I mean, it has the Lulu buffs to function. You know exactly what kind of damage this Jinx can do if she is allowed to free fire. We definitely saw it in that last fight. Yeah.
So the setup is tense, and honestly, it's deserved. A lot on the line for both these teams. AL's first ticket to a grand finals ever. JDG's redemption over last year's woes. The rebuild of 4 big name players coming that haven't honestly showed the level that they should thus far. Now it's just keeping within arm's length this game against AL. 41 minutes in, Cubby. This is a game 5 of Legend. This is the game 5 of the back and forth nature these two teams have brought to the table.
I just can't believe that JDG are still here. I feel like this game should have been put away by now. But the Elder being yoinked really delayed what anyone's Legend could do. And it pretty much stalled the game to another Baron plus Elder map state, which did buy some solid time for JDG. It allowed Peyz to catch up in items a little bit. So now they're both full build and got another item onto the cannon and maybe the Hui. So if double death cap comes in, that is a better scenario for JDG than the last spawn of both these monster drakes. I still don't think this game is in their favor, but the time bought was good for them as Allah.
Allah is one shot and the Stormbringer to take him down. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Anyone's Legend take down a centerpiece to the JDG composition, and now Hope, excited as all get out, will look to push forward in mid, but they already have the big purple worm potentially in their sights as they move over to that side of the map.
They're just going to use the Jinx to at least push up this wave. But yeah, at any time, they can just dip down, take the Baron. If they do this on time, then they should be able to take Elder uncontested this time around. Allah has no access to TP. Gray screen for another 28 minutes and also did lose his flash going down there. So no potential for a flash slicing Maelstrom. That is significant for the hopes of anyone's Legend.
I'm just so in shock at some of the ruthlessness this anyone's Legend team has been able to show us in some of these fights. Just knowing when they have the advantage, being able to utilize that as a weapon into JDG. Now trying to utilize that in mid lane. They're being flanked by JDG. Peyz stepping up now as well. TP from Flandre. He's looking for an angle. He's got the Between Worlds. Everything's available except for that heroic entrance and the Stormbringer.
Oh.
AL going to be pushed off a little bit. Going to use the redemption here as well. Ala finally making it to the team. He's about to have that combo back up and available to him as Shun is going to clear the wave. AL a little bit spread right now as Shanks looking to make a move. Peyz stepping forward. I like this confidence from him. He's got moves.
They're really trying their hardest to cut the wave here, and Anyone's Legend doesn't feel confident enough stepping into all the poke that JDG has in the fog. And they don't want to reset, because if they do, then Elder can be ripped.
And they will burn it, even though they aren't the team in the lead. Between Worlds goes in on the Scout. Scout against his whole teammate on EDG. And now Shun locked out. Shun
Peyz?
flashing. Flandre, look at Peyz. He's got a flank. He's flanking his Misfortune. In the moment you need him most, Peyz is in trouble. Get down, Mr. President. He's going down himself. And now Anyone's Legend, knowing that the damage dealer is gone, are just going to spread the map thin with JDG.
And they still don't want to even do the Elder because I don't think they need it to win. Like that's kind of where they're at right now. As the red buff gets secured by Tarzan, and they're just going to be sprinting down mid. They're going to force JDG to respond to the waves and use that to get them out of the Elder vision they have carved out.
Hope gets so excited from these, can push so quickly. As that response finally comes through from JDG, the recentering, realigning of the chakras ready for this fight, honestly, as Tarzan starts it up. Elder Dragon, this would be it. AL can finish.
As long as Hope's hitting this, it's going to melt. Shanks is trying to find Shun. Elder at half. They spot this on the crab. Looks to be no contest.
They just feel like they can buy time. I mean, if they take the fight and they lose, the game's over anyways. Just going to see what they can do, see how it goes with the Elder Dragon behind AL. And honestly, they look like a terror in the night. Their dragon wings spread far above them and so high above that Rogue Warrior's namesake they have from so long ago. And the transition to Anyone's Legend has been a slow and steady one, but nonetheless is making it there.
I mean, I still can't get over the fact that I don't think this comp's super playable for JDG. But their best solution to it was like a flanking MF, which didn't work out well. And then, okay, good night, Peyz.
The Elder Dragon wings start flapping, and that's it. Good night, JDG. As Anyone's Legend, they're looking to put the hurt where it hurts the most. And the Rogue Warriors have become legend. And for the first time in the organization's history, Anyone's Legends are in the grand finals.
What a huge win for these guys. Your Demacia Cup champions now booked their tickets to the finals. Going up against, I mean, we'll have to see. BLG looks hot, but God, that Game 5 draft, just the game plan, put Anyone's Legends in such a better position to actually contest or win the series. And then early on, I mean, once the first few plays went sideways, the fact the game went to 45 minutes should have probably never happened. It was just JDG... They stole the Elder. It really stole out the game. But once that Elder was secured, you could see just how one-sided the game was and how one-sided it looked towards the end. So props to JDG for making that way closer than what it should have been, and quite frankly. But I felt like they just went into so many games today just at a very serious disadvantage in draft. Anyone's Legends had much better game plans coming in and really caught up to JDG by the end.
JDG, they will still have another life. They will have to wait on the winner of BLG and Top Esports to see who they face to get into that grand finals. But Anyone's Legend, the story that has been built behind this team, the fact that it's still that same trio in the bot lane, in that Shanks, Hope, Kael combo, but the addition of these two guys right here, Tarzan and Flandre, have meant the world to this team. They've had Tabe back there cooking up drafts, but you need guys like these two to execute, and they have done so every step of the way.
Yeah, I mean, Tarzan has been fantastic. I thought we didn't see the best series from Kael today, but Kael has still been really good.
The Poppy game makes up for it. I don't even care, man.
It helps that draft was Thanos game for Poppy, too.